Justina Lorena Ford was the first licensed African-American female doctor in Denver, Colorado. She practiced gynecology, obstetrics, and pediatrics from her home for more than half a century. Born Justina Lorena Warren on January 22, 1871 in Knoxville, Illinois. Her mother was a midwife. Young Justina would often accompany her when she tended to patients. In 1892, she married Baptist minister John Ford and later moved to Chicago, where she graduated from Herring Medical College in 1899. Ford worked briefly at an Alabama hospital before moving to Denver, Colorado in 1902. It was there that she received her medical license, and it was also there that she ran into discrimination from day one. When she sought her medical license, the examiner told her,
"I feel dishonest taking a fee from you."
Really? And why is that?
"Well, you've got 2 strikes against you.
2 strikes.
First of all, you're a lady, and second, you're colored."
Well, you don't have to feel too bad, because I believe history will eventually catch up.
At that time, African Americans were barred from working in hospitals or joining the Colorado Medical Association. So Ford set up a private practice in her home. She specialized in gynecology, obstetrics, and pediatrics. In 1915, she and her husband John Ford divorced. She later married Alfred Allen. For over 50 years, Ford practiced medicine from her home, serving a diverse clientele that included poor whites, African Americans, Native Americans, and non-English speaking immigrants who were turned away from hospitals. Her patients often exchanged goods and services for consultations rather than paying in cash. During her career, she delivered nearly 7,000 babies and was affectionately called the Lady Doctor by her patients. In 1950, still the only female African American doctor in Denver, Dr. Justina Ford was finally allowed to join the Colorado and American Medical Associations. She also became a member of the Denver Medical Society and began working in the Denver General Hospital. Dr. Justina Ford continued to practice medicine until 2 weeks before her death on October 14, 1952. She was 81 years old. Just 4 months earlier, she was quoted as saying, "When all the fears, hate, and even some death is over, we will really be brothers as God intended us to be in this land. This I believe. For this I have worked all my life."
James H. Meredith is formally enrolled at the University of Mississippi, ending one chapter in the federal government's efforts to desegregate the university. The town of Oxford is an armed camp, following riots that accompany the registration of the first Negro in the university's 118-year history. Much of this film record was destroyed when our cameraman, Gordon Yoder, was attacked, but he did salvage pictures of Governor Ross Barnett at the scene. The governor fought the court order long and bitterly before modifying his stand, saying Mississippi was overpowered by the federal government. President Kennedy appealed to the students and to the people of the state to comply peacefully with the law and bring the crisis to an end. Even as he talked, riots were breaking out in Oxford.
Americans are free and sure to disagree with the law, but not to disobey it. For in a government of laws and not of men, no man, however prominent or powerful, and no mob, however unruly or boisterous, is entitled to defy a court of law. If this country should ever reach the point where any man or group of men, by force or threat of force, could long deny the commands of our court and our Constitution, then no law would stand free from doubt. No judge would be sure of his writ, and no citizen would be safe from his neighbors.
Nearly 6,000 troops patrol Oxford to maintain order, and arrests mount to more than 200 as smaller disturbances erupt the next day. Former Major General Edwin Walker, who came here from his home in Texas, is put under arrest and held in high bail on charges of inciting insurrection. He was flown to a federal prison hospital as relative calm settled on the town in the greatest crisis the South has faced since the Civil War.
I'm Mrs. Fannie Lou Hamer, and I farmed on the Marlowe plantation for 18 years. I had charge of keeping up with the time and paying off, and I went down the 31st of August to try to register. And after I had gotten back home, Mr. Marlowe told me that I would have to go down and withdraw my registration or leave, because they wasn't ready for that in Mississippi. And I said, Mr. Marlowe, I'm trying to register for myself. So I had to leave that same night after I had gone down in August. And then I spent one night with Mrs. Tucker, and after about 2 days in September, they shot in the house 15 times, thinking that I was there.
Fannie Lou Hamer was a voting and women's rights activist, community organizer, and a leader in the civil rights movement. She was also the vice chair of the Freedom Democratic Party, which she represented at the 1964 Democratic National Convention. Fannie Lou Hamer was passionately committed to improving life for poor minorities in her state of Mississippi. She worked with the National Council for Negro Women and others to help organize food cooperatives and other services, all the while continuing her political activities. Along with the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, SNCC, Hamer helped organize Mississippi's Freedom Summer. She was also a co-founder of the National Women's Political Caucus, an organization created to recruit, train, and support women of all races who wish to seek election to government office. She was known for her use of spiritual hymns and quotes and her resilience in leading the civil rights movement for black women in Mississippi. She helped and encouraged thousands of African Americans in Mississippi to become registered voters and helped hundreds of disenfranchised people in her area. As a civil rights activist, Hamer was extorted, threatened, harassed, shot at, and assaulted by racists, which included members of the police, all while simply trying to register for her right to vote. This has been African American History is American History. I'm Harlan Kearsley. Thank you for listening. And if you haven't done so, please subscribe. Once you do, you'll be notified as soon as new episodes are posted. Thanks again, and please stay safe. African American History is American History. Copyright H.C. Kearsley, 2025.